wanted to grab more power, they went straight for Russia again.
Of
So
course.
I don't know where you're talking about. They had a complete agreement. Where is this agreement?
They had an agreement to cooperate.
No, it wasn't cooperation, it was a non-aggression pact. They hated each other.
Absolutely.
The rise of Germany came from the hatred of
But they
communism.
split up.
And the poverty
They
of the
split
First
up.
World War.
What was it? Poland?
In fact, in his
split
book-
up.
in
They
his
split up
book, in
Poland.
Mein Kampf.
We'll take this part, you take that part.
In his book of Mein Kampf, it
You
says
guys
the
have been
Slavs
doing
are
that
not
ever
human.
since. You guys have been splitting up things
I
ever
don't-
since, so I don't really know why that's anything new.
I don't disagree that it was a non-aggression pact. You know, I said they cooperated non-aggression
You said it was a
pact.
peace treaty. It was.
Yeah. It was. I
won't kick your
misspoke.
ass.
I misspoke.
Yeah.
I misspoke. The point was, Russia and Germany early on were not enemies. They were.
They've
were
always been
enemies.
enemies.
They
They've
were
always been
Yeah,
enemies.
they never
It's
let
a
us win
known
the World
fact.
Cup.
Just
It's a serious
I don't
point.
know where you've got this belief system.
back to my point.
1900s
You
they
can't
went to-
dispute the fact that the Allies during World War II, along with
The Allies ran
Russians,
away whilst the Russians
were
kept
their
fighting.
primary
Absolutely.
force
They
that
didn't even-
liberated Europe.
They only brought
And what happened
400,000
after
troops
that?
to
The Russians moved into Eastern Europe. They subverted the democratic movements, which had been subjugated by the Nazis, and they implemented their own form of fascism.
That's true.
I don't support
And
Russia, but
And if
they
George's Patton, the American general, had his way, when they finished, he says we need to go all the way to Moscow. But
no, but they didn't have the strength.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt,
you probably wouldn't be able
No,
to
they
do that.
wouldn't
it was a bad idea.
I don't
Churchill
think
had
anyone
that
in
idea. It was called
Eisenhower.
Operation
Well,
Unthinkable.
there's a little
Eisenhower
thing.
They didn't have the men.
Have you ever heard about Fat Man and Little Boy?
Yeah. No, that wouldn't have been enough. They still would have gone.
You realize
charging
Russia's
through.
a very hard
Right.
country to conquer, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Only
a
two
very hard
people
country to
have
conquer.
Patton said a lot of things that were crazy.
So
he
even-
got disciplined for saying some
Never
crazy.
got
They
They had more
That's
tanks,
right.
more men,
I'm just
and
saying
more
he
fuel.
said that. I don't agree with that.
Even with the technological
only
advancement, you
fact,
wouldn't have been
Little
able
Boy
to take
was-
Russia.
And
Germany
even
was quite
He was the
far ahead of
closest
the game at the
that
time,
the
and they still
American
failed.
military
Technologically,
came.
3
Yeah.
minutes, largest
Dictator.
man-led invasion in the
Absolutely.
history of mankind.
Well,
And they still
And they
failed.
still-
military command control structure basically is a dictatorship. When you're in the military, there's no democracy amongst the ranks. It's a form.
Democratic control.
Oh,
The
of
thing
course,
about
of
Patton-
course, of course,
The thing about
of course.
Patton, he kind of believed military
I was
force first.
I was in the military for 9 years. It's not like I could say to my military commander, "Well, sir, I have a difference of opinion."
It's a hierarchy.
You
You
should.
know?
It's a
Well, you
hierarchy.
should.
Yeah, it's called permission
Maybe
to
that's
speak
why
freely,
that's
sir.
why the common term jarhead is used. Maybe you should have a little bit more of a disagreement.
That's not why
Then
jarhead
that's
is
why.
used.
That's why.
That's not why jarhead
Why
is
do you
used.
think jarhead is used, sir?
That's not why jarhead.
Why do you think jarhead is used?
Because they're tough as hell.
No.
No,
It's
it's
because
because
you're
it's
empty
filled.
jars and
Yeah.
you can get filled. See, you believe your own indoctrination. It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, it's like a known thing. They
It's
all
not
say
like
it.
market.
Food
The,
bar, what
the
does
U.S.
that mean?
Marines. You know how many battles the U.S. Marines have lost?
Really?
Donuts, yeah.
Vietnam.
Exactly. The U.S. Marines were not the primary force of Vietnam. It was U.S. Army.
The US Marines went in Vietnam.
There's a few, but it was
there was a
primarily
few.
it was primarily the U.S. Army.
Is Vietnam a capitalist or a communist country today?
It's a capitalist country.
So,
No, it's capitalist now. They have free elections and they follow
But
capitalism.
what happened after the Americans left? The communist Chinese decided they didn't like the regime in North Vietnam. What did they do? They invaded. The Vietnamese had to fight off the communist Chinese for 2 years after they'd fought the French and all the rest. So,
Yeah, which was basically the whole point of the Americans being there was we need to stop the spread of communism.
I agree, yeah.
They left, and then communism spread.
So you've won in
Yeah.
the Middle East?
What's that?
Would you say that
Yeah,
you've won in the
I
Middle
mean-
East?
Taliban's
One,
still there.
I'll be on. There's no victory in the Middle East for anyone.
So why'd you go in the first
Yeah,
place?
I mean,
Go in where? What do you
To the
mean?
Middle East? Why'd you go
Go
in?
go where?
give the Kurds a homeland.
No, seriously, why'd you go in?
well, why have the Arabs not given the Kurds a
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I
Why
agree.
did, why did the Turks
Let's talk.
not
Let's
take
let's
care
talk
of the
about
Kurds
let's talk about
when
the
they
most recent.
occupied
Let's talk
the
about the
area?
most recent effort because you're only good as your last game, right?
Say that again?
Right.
Let's
So
talk
what did
about
you
the
Turks
most
do for the
recent
Kurds?
effort because you're only good as your last game.
No, there's
What
no.
did
The
you
most
Turks do for the
recent
last
effort in the
game?
Middle East
You
was to
subjugated.
annihilate ISIS.
ISIS is
I
still
think
there.
the Kurds.
I'm not saying it's your
No.
fault.
ISIS is still there.
Kurds.
They are still there.
They
but,
killed a couple
Right.
of tourists only like a month ago.
Yeah, that's
ISIS
true.
is still quite prominent
but
there.
they don't control, and they're not the controlling authority.
That's because the Kurdish people were the ones who beat
Of
the
course, the
People from four
Peshmerga.
different
The
countries.
Peshmerga.
I don't mean to be
So when we talk
disrespectful
about
as a
the Middle
soldier,
East, you've got to
sir.
remember
Yeah,
there's the
Peshmerga
Palestinians and the
were
Kurds.
huge allies with
Historically,
American special forces. They
split
are
up,
the Peshmerga
and
with
they have
lots of
a
weapons.
really good
as
case
as
to have
a
a
military man yourself, Are you not appalled at the treatment that military vets and ex-retired military vets, etc., get in America?
I'm totally appalled.
Huh?
I think
the amount of PTSD, the amount of suicide that happens.
I think that Donald Trump's plan to increase spending for veterans, VA hospitals, thumbs up. They need to have more support for sure.
And have we seen any change?
Yes.
Have we?
Yes.
There's still more suicides than ever.
Well, that's
so how is there change?
The funding for the VA, the hospitals, psychological services, is higher than
everyone did 22 press-ups.
Is higher than it's ever been, and probably one of the biggest things is under the old rules, regulations. One of the things Donald Trump has done is for every new regulation that's passed,
more money.
He requires them to get rid of two. No, what he did is he eliminated regulation that says you couldn't fire bad doctors. You had some terrible doctors in the VA. Government doctors who were like, I got seniority, I'm here, I can't be fired. And that, I worked in the government, that's the way it is a lot of times. You get bad apples and they get ensconced in their government position, you can't get rid of them. One of the things he did is, no, we're gonna, and he personally, as the commander-in-chief, the chief executive of the United States, he personally, and then it was a little bit uncommon, went down there and fired several of the most problematic.
There's still no change to the suicide rate and the complete mental health degradation of veterans.
Hey,
so where is the change, sir? Where is the change?
There is real positive change. Is it going to be perfect overnight? No. There's a big problem. Yeah, but he's doing more for veterans. And you ask the veterans.
How about not going to war?
You ask the veterans associations. They're all 95% of them support Donald Trump and what he's doing.
95%, but you completely support people going to unnecessary wars, and then try to explain that by giving more funding with no change whatsoever.
I oppose unnecessary wars, absolutely.
I can't argue with that.
I mean, that's only an idiot would support an unnecessary war.
So how about we get the troops out of the Middle East?
A lot of the troops that were in the Middle East, the vast majority of American troops are gone. There's a few left, but compared to where there was 5 years ago, 3-4 years ago, it's like 10%, maybe 15%. And most of those are there, and they don't have like primary command. They're there to support like the Iraqi government. And they basically, to do anything, they have to get permission from the Iraqi, and the Iraqi government wants them there, right, in a small force, because ISIS took over half their country. Now they've reconquered, and it's okay. Until we make sure everything's good to go, just stay here, help us, and they support. So they're still there, but they're there basically, at the request of the Iraqi government and in support of the Iraqi government.
In terms of the vetting of tourists coming abroad, how do you feel about the fact that more terrorist attacks have actually happened of homegrown terrorists, as opposed to actually outside intervention? And this is before the
what attacks have happened from homegrown terrorists?
Loads of attacks. You had was it the Boston bombing?
Yeah.
Was that not during the marathon and it killed like a good dozen people?
Killed 3 people.
How many school shootings do you have normally? Did you not have the shooting in Vegas only a moment ago?
You know
how
what?
Many more attacks? How many more attacks do I need to mention?
The murder rate in London from stabbings in 2018 is higher than the murder rate in New York City.
Now or back in February?
2018.
No, now it's not.
Okay, if you take 2018 as a whole, the murder rate from January 1. Okay, I mean, cherry pick whatever.
Even if we're talking about the murder rate, America's murder rate is 3 times that of the UK, and I actually have statistics to prove this as well. That when you have more relaxed gun control in Alaska, out of all places, where you won't find, right? You won't find Detroit.
What about knife? What about knife control?
So wait.
What about knife control? Because the problem here is not guns, it's knives, right?
I will get to that.
That's a fact. The problem here is not guns, but knivings. So what about knife control?
How many people can you kill?
What about knife control?
How many people can you kill? Give me 2 seconds. Sir.
Don't stab people. That
right.
Is
As a person, don't take a weapon and harm another person. Whether it's a knife or a gun or a truck or whatever.
Or a bomb.
I get
that-
you guys
that is not very
have a problem with like just control in general, but how many people can you kill from a skyscraper with a knife?
How many people?
How many people?
What
How many
happened?
people?
What happened in Marseille?
Huh?
What happened in Marseille?
What happened in Marseille?
Marseille on was it? It was if it wasn't Bastille Day, it was another big French holiday.
Oh, yeah.
In the square,
The machete.
an Islamic-inspired Muslim terrorist stole a big truck, like huge truck, and plowed Nice. You're right. I stand corrected. And plowed down
Nice, which turned
dozens and dozens. It was like nearly 100 people were killed.
Good. And what did
Trucks.
They, and what
So
did they do after that?
we need to ban trucks.
No, what did they do after that?
We need to ban Muslims.
Give me 2 seconds. What did they do after that?
What do you mean? What did they do? What
did they do after that?
What did who do?
They introduced
It
speed
doesn't matter
bumps.
whether you're Muslim or
Speed bumps.
They
whatever.
introduced preventions. Give me 2 seconds. They introduced preventions to make sure that wouldn't happen again. The whole point is that he had complete access. Give me 2 seconds. He had complete access throughout that road to build up enough speed to take out 80 people.
You're telling me every public square and every road that accesses a public square now has speed bumps.
No.
Speed bumps, goose bumps, who knows what's going to
On
happen?
residential roads, do we not have speed bumps? Why do we have speed bumps on residential roads?
I'm looking right here. There's
I
no
think
speed bumps on this
speed
road.
bumps
Because this isn't a road, this is a pathway.
Okay.
It's a big difference.
Last time.
This is for feet.
Last time.
This is for feet. And that's
You
for
know
cars.
the
It's a big
speed
difference.
the speed bump comment is a real loser.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So why do we have speed bumps on residential roads?
You need to do better.
Oh, why do we have speed bumps on
What we
residential
need
roads?
is a speed
Okay.
bump.
To remind us to slow
Liberation
down.
for us.
Because why, sir?
For kids' safety, duh. For kids'
Exactly.
safety, hello. The kids people don't race through neighborhoods where children.
And because
On
it's
the other
a...
hand, if you wanted to go at 80 miles an hour, at that level,
80 miles an hour?
you could still do it.
You could, but you'd also lose control. Have you been on a speed bump 80 miles an hour? Do you know what
I
happens?
think that would be catastrophic.
It doesn't exactly work out well. It doesn't work out well.
This is the speed bump's a straw man. The point is, it wasn't guns, it wasn't knives, it wasn't trucks. It was the people behind the guns, the knives,
No, but
and the
this is the
trucks.
thing that Americans
That is
have
the
a problem
problem.
understanding.
It's not guns are not the problem, knives are not the problem, trucks are not the
That's
problem.
right.
Losers, idiots, evil people behind the truck, the knife, and the gun is the problem.
Well, I'd say it's more specific than that. It's the Muslims. There's how many black people do you see carrying some people? How many white Christians do? They're all Muslims.
Really?
Yeah, almost all.
Well,
Really?
you ever heard of the Incel Rebellion?
That's it, yeah.
Or Breivik. What was in Breivik, the Norwegian
Yeah,
guy?
he was a Christian as well.
They're not-
He was a white Christian.
I
You're
don't
right.
know. Uncommon.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he was.
Well, let me ask you this question. Look, here in the UK and in America, are Muslims welcome and free to worship in mosques all over the UK and all over America?
Not really, we're not allowed to pray over there,
yes.
apparently.
Right? That's true. And they're even allowed to do what they call Jamaat, which is in Islam it means missionary service. Jamaat. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Jamaat's like outreach, right?
Right.
You can do outreach in America, you can do outreach in the UK. It's totally welcome. And you're free to do it. I guarantee you, you go to the heart of Islam, to Mecca, and you say, I want to build a Christian church, and I want to preach the Christian religion and convert people to Christianity.
happen.
It will never happen.
They'll kill
And you don't have Christian
And
preachers
they'll
in
kill
Dubai.
You
don't have
can, you
Christian preachers in
can, you
Dubai.
cannot go to Mecca,
Mecca is
the,
same Vatican. So
the heartbed of Islam.
You can.
And,
You can.
okay, and you can preach as a
Have you
Christian
been to Dubai?
and convert people to Christianity. You cannot.
You
That's
tried to convert people in Mecca?
No, I'm
You
not
didn't.
trying to
You didn't try to
people.
do
It's
it.
illegal.
So you don't
It's
actually have
illegal.
experience of it?
Yeah.
No, I've been there. It's
Why
illegal.
convert anyone? Why convert anyone? I wouldn't want to convert anybody to anything.
It's not about the conversion. It's about the freedom.
Exactly. People are free
Here
to
in the
believe
UK, you have freedom.
what they want.
Here and in America, you have freedom.
Wait, in
There
You don't have that freedom.
Are you not allowed? Are you not allowed to spread your faith?
No, Hinduism definitely is not allowed to spread its faith. Never has done. We're the only religion.
You are
that
not
has
allowed to
done.
spread your faith
We're the only
in Saudi
religion
Arabia.
that has never-
Sorry, we had Hindus the other day here.
They don't
giving out
spread
pamphlets.
their religion.
They were giving out pamphlets.
Well, I'd like to see one of those pamphlets.
Okay, no worries.
We're
Anyway,
not allowed to.
the point
We're
is,
not allowed to.
the point is,
We
there's
never
far
have
more
done.
religious freedom in the UK and in America than there is in Muslim countries. Yes, that's indisputable.
So why were the Jews chased out of Europe then? They've never been chased out of the Middle East.
We're talking to
They had to
Muslim.
retreat. They had to
Wait,
retreat.
wait, wait,
They had to
wait.
retreat. back to
I made a
Palestine.
statement. There's far more
you said-
religious freedom
Yeah.
in the UK and America than there are in predominantly Muslim
You can argue
countries.
about America, not Trump. That freedom is being limited all the time.
No, no,
Certain
no, it's
countries-
not.
You can't even kneel
Certain
for the
Muslim
you can't
countries
even
are
kneel
not
for the
allowed
national
No,
anthem.
no.
That he wants to build
Wrong.
a wall.
Stop
Hang on.
watching CNN. It's all garbage. Stop watching
He
CNN.
tells the truth everything.
No one watches
Yeah, yeah,
CNN in
yeah.
America.
My
No
daughter
one.
lives there,
Only
I live
CNN
there.
Is it not
International.
true that you're not
Okay,
allowed to kneel
let's
for the national anthem?
You're not allowed.
What?
What?
You're not allowed to kneel for the national anthem. Is it
Sure you are.
disrespectful?
Sure you are.
It's
No.
Why is it disrespectful?
No. Hey, you can kneel, but the NFL, what we're talking about, is a private organization. As a private organization, you don't have freedom as an employee of that organization to do whatever you want. Because the organization can say, hey, you want to be part of the NFL, represent the NFL? We have certain rules. You don't follow those rules, hit the door.
That sounds a bit fascist.